Hi there, my name is Brian Strumecki. I'm a sales professional for ARDEX in Western Canada, and I'm going to show you today the ARDEX WA Epoxy Grout. And what I'm going to show you is how easy it is to work with. If you've ever worked with any of the other epoxy grouts, or any epoxy grout for that matter, you'll know that it's not always the easiest grout to work with. Now this one is a two-part epoxy. So what we do is we have our hardener, and we take that and we're going to mix it in with part A. So what we have here is part B, the hardener. I'm going to take that and I'm going to scoop that into the pail. And what we're going to do is mix this with cordless drill, just on a low speed. Alright, so I've got my epoxy grout all mixed up, and what I'm going to do is go ahead and grout these tiles here. Now when doing epoxy grout, you normally want to have an epoxy grout float. I don't have one with me today, so I'm using my normal grout float. And I'm just kind of showing you how the workability of this stuff is. You can see I'm not putting too much pressure on these tiles to get the grout joints grouted. My arm isn't killing me either. Now that's a pretty nice squeege. Now that squeegees up really nice off of that tile. I'm not applying too much pressure to get it off. As you can see, really easy to work with. Alright, so what we're going to do here is we're going to let this set up for 40 minutes. Now I know that sounds a little crazy, but that's one of the nice things about the ARDEX WA Epoxy Grout is you don't need to jump on it right away to start washing. So what I'm going to do here is set a timer on my phone for 40 minutes, and we'll come back and wash this up, and we'll show you how nice and non-tacky it is after that length period of time. All right, we are back. It's been 40 minutes. I've let this grout just sit here after I've spread it on these tiles. And now what I'm gonna do is just show you how easy it is to wash it off, and you'll see how nice and clean it gets. So what we do is we take water on the surface. I have a white scrubby here. Sometimes what I like to do just for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to spray down the surface with water. Just a water bottle. And I'm just going to go in a nice circular motion across the tiles. I'm not applying a lot of pressure. I'm just loosening up the grout off the tile. And that's it for the scrubby. And what I'm going to do is take the ARDEX sponge. I'll go at a 45-degree angle to my grout joints and just go nice and slow across those tiles. Again, I'm not applying a lot of pressure. Just pulling the sponge across the tiles, and with just one wipe, I pretty much have that already clean. And if you've worked with any other epoxy grouts, you'll notice how sticky they can get, how tacky they are. Right now, I'm not wearing gloves. I'm not having a lot of residue on my fingers. And I'll just remind you, this is sat here for 40 minutes. If you've worked with any epoxy grouting before, you'll never really want to let that epoxy grout sit for 40 minutes before you start washing. Alright, I'm back here with my ARDEX WA Epoxy demonstration. Yesterday I grouted these tiles with the brilliant white epoxy grout. I gave it a scrub, a light scrub with one of these white scrubbies. I sprayed a bit of water on there. I gave it a nice scrub and then I went over it with the ARDEX sponge. I didn't put a lot of elbow grease into it. I did about the same amount of pressure that I would normally do grouting floors or walls. It came up really nice. Now this morning when I came in, I felt a little bit of tackiness to it because maybe I didn't give it that second wash yesterday like I should have. So what I did this morning was I sprayed a little bit of water, I took a clean white scrubby and I gave it just another nice little scrub, sponged that up, and now what I have here is zero tackiness on this sample. It's pretty amazing how easy that was to do. I've worked with a lot of epoxy grouts. Being a tile installer for 18 years, this epoxy grout is by far the easiest one I've ever worked with.